Good morning. Welcome to Saturday Morning Comic Talk. This is a show where I talk comics and anything related to comics, sometimes not comics at all, with a panel of amazing indie creators. So today we have a great panel. And actually I think everyone today has been here before. So welcome back, and let me change our layout so we can see us better. All right. So Dash, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Dash Hooper. I'm an independent novelist, I guess, if you will. Currently have two works on Amazon. You can find them under my name. And I'm working on my third one. We'll talk a little bit more about that one later. But yeah, I'm excited to be here this Saturday morning.
All right. So Matt, tell us a little bit about yourself.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Matt Knowles. I am one half of Insymmetry Creations. We are comic writers, graphic novel writers, content creators, panel hosts, MCs. Ed just saw Steph on the Jaws panel last week at San Diego Comic-Con. We have two Kickstarters that'll be coming up later on this year. But just yesterday, we released our updated sampler. It is a 61-page PDF that is free for anybody that wants to read it. That's got ashcan size little shorts from all of our different titles. So if you want it, we'll make sure you have that link so that you can go and read that thing.
Awesome. And I'm hoping to throw that one into my Kickstarter and let that be a cool stretch goal.
Absolutely. That's part of what we did. That way there's something good out there to be able to include and give back and all that.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, Kevin, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, my name's Kevin Davis. I'm an author, comic creator, entrepreneur. I have a lot of hats that I've been told I have. I'm an overachiever, also I've been told. But I'm glad to be here, and I'm excited to talk about what we're doing.
Awesome. All right. And Braden, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm Braden Valoria, creator and writer of Haven, which we launched in March of this year. And I have a new Kickstarter coming out, Sketch Night, which is in the shared Rook City universe. Fun times.
Awesome. All right. So this the show originally was going to be for people that are on the Cthulhu Invades Fairy Tales series. But since I think I'm the only one, Matt, you've written for it before, right? For the Cthulhu series?
I think you're muted, Matt.
Yeah, you're muted.
You're muted.
Oh, I muted something. My bad. Yes, we've been on 3 different times, and we've got a couple more that will be out coming on. So very well versed in that.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. So we're going to talk about that. Because Cthulhu, Travis Gibb, and Orange Cone, they have had Cthulhu invade different public domain areas. So we're going to think now, where should Cthulhu invade next? Now, it doesn't have to be public domain. We don't have to follow the rules. We're not worried about getting sued. Just where would you like to see Cthulhu and kind of that, the cosmic horror of Lovecraft? What 2 universes would you like to see collide with that one? So, Dash, where would you like to see Cthulhu invade next?
Oh, man. I had to think long and hard about this one. I kind of would like to see like Eldritch horror in like a Game of Thrones style setting. So you've got your Jaime Lannister or Jon Snow trying to take on a Cthulhu type monster, and they already got dragons, so you might as well bring the Eldritch horror in. I just think it would be good, and then maybe see a setting like that. I mean, D&D's already done it, I think, to a certain extent, where you have Cthulhu, and with the Mind Flayers, I think of are kind of like that Eldritch horror type thing. So maybe something in Game of Thrones setting, and see how Jaime and Jon Snow would handle that.
Yeah, that could be fun. And we have Earth Dog Network coming in saying Cthulhu.
Hey, it's Tim.
Archie's Tim. We need to get you back on here. It's been too long.
Man, glad to see Tim back in the land of the living, and I mean that in literal terms. I'm glad to see he's actually still alive and kicking for sure.
Yeah, so good to see you, Tim. Glad that you're coming in, and yes, we'd love to have you back. You're always one of my favorite people. You're the best, because he just pops up, and I'm talking about something, the next thing you know, Tim's dropping a picture, because we talk about it plenty on this show. I'm the squinty guy who doesn't see very well, and there are some tools that I'm learning from one of my guests that I can use to see a little bit better. But when Tim's on, I don't need to. Tim's like, boom, boom, boom. And then, we're talking about Cthulhu invades Game of Thrones, and boom, he'd have Game of Thrones imagery right up there. So
No pressure, Tim. No pressure at all.
yeah, yes. So we're happy to see you back, and in the world of creators. And I've seen that you're posting new work and everything. So happy to see that. So Cthulhu and Game of Thrones. Yeah, I like that idea. You can bring cosmic horror into it because it already goes into realms of fantasy with the White Walkers and everything. It's not it. In the beginning, people thought it was just going to be kind of basic, grounded, and more like the Tudors or something. But when it goes wild, they're like, why not? Someone summoning Cthulhu somewhere, and then it goes wild. So, Matt, where do you want to see Cthulhu invade?
So here's what I think would be interesting. I think it'd be interesting if Cthulhu went a little more small school in a sense. I would love to see Cthulhu invade the Immortal Era or Path of the Pale Rider, where you say death is dead and people can't die. So at some point, Cthulhu is going to be beating the crap out of all these people, but realize that they can't die. So is he going to give up? Are they going to have a party? What's going to happen? So I think that would be kind of interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah. There you go. Throw him in the Immortal Era universe. Everyone's alive. Throw him in Laurie's universe. Everyone's alive, and Cthulhu's just like, this shit sucks. I'm out. I'm gonna find another planet where they're not cursed with immortality because I'm very bored. I got a bunch of decapitated heads yelling at me from the ground. I'm out. So yeah, Cthulhu leaves Immortal Era universe would be the ultimate ending.
That'd be cool.
So Steven's asking, anyone else get the post Comic Con cold sickness? Yeah, that con crud is no
con crud.
I'm doing okay. Like, I'm a little scratchy in the throat. My daughter got hit the hardest where she was pretty much out. We had to leave Sunday early. I went to the con for a couple hours, just kind of browsed around while they stayed sleeping in the hotel room. And then we drove home because everybody was feeling sick. One of our friends flew out from Missouri and got wrecked by Saturday night. So we were going to have like a goodbye dinner with her and her husband, and that didn't work. So it was the leave early, and yeah, con crud is real. So Steph saying she managed to avoid it. I guess you were there, if I'm correct, only one day, so it's easier to avoid it. We were there all 5, and you get it. And I don't want to wear a mask. I think COVID ruined me. I'm like, fuck it, bring it on. Whatever it is, I'll get it. I don't want to have to wear a mask. I like breathing properly. Although then I don't breathe properly because I didn't wear a mask. So I guess
the thing to me though is like, I feel like COVID at conventions taught us all a lot of good things that we've all kind of forgotten. Like how to, like, it drives me crazy when somebody will come up to the table and they'll be like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, dude, I'm like, you just freaking sneezed into your hand. Don't put your hand out and extend it to me. I'm like, fist bump me or something, man.
Yeah, I always go for the fist bump. Like, no, we are not shaking hands. Although sometimes your instincts take over and they reach out to shake hands. Like, all right, I keep a big ass bottle of hand sanitizer on my table. And I wait till they leave, but I'm just like, don't touch anything. Don't touch anything. Hands away from the face. Don't get this. And then as soon as they leave, you're like, friggin'.
You got to, man. You got to.
Throw a gallon of that shit on your hands. So, yeah, 5 days is a lot. And that's why I think after 4, we were pretty content. And next year, I actually did find someone that's going to split a table with me. Because I like to go and just kind of play around at Comic-Con. Do things like go to the panels and enjoy seeing all of those things. But after a couple days, I get that itch. I see people in small press sitting on their phones lazily, not getting sales. And I'm like, damn, I could be making all the money right now. I would just bring this aisle some energy. And yeah, that a couple of the people that the one time I did San Diego that I stood next to, they're like, we need you back here. We need the energy on this road. Look at these guys. They're sitting down. We need someone like you, because I become a carnival barker when I'm doing that. It's like, that's the only way you're going to sell books. Like, hey, man, how you doing? Come on over. Let's hear about my book. And like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have anything kid-friendly. But guess what? That guy does. So you kind of learn the people on your row, and you're sending them over. They're like, this guy has a great book for kids. You want to go check that one out? And yeah, you kind of network together and know, okay, they're looking for horror, send them this way. They're looking for post-apocalyptic, send them my way. And yeah, it's great, and I miss it after a couple days. So I found someone we're going to do a 50-50 split, and day 5 just work it together. So that's my next year plan. Still try to get on a panel or two and get in there and sell some books and do the fun stuff as well, because I still like going to see all the panels. So yeah, I got to see Steph's panel. That was fun. She was there the one day. Got to meet one half of In-Symmetry Creations in person. Still haven't met the second half. So
Me?
all right,
We'll figure it out, man.
we got to make it happen, because I think I was in Florida once, but I didn't know you at that time, so that would have been the best opportunity.
Where were you at in Florida?
The Tampa Con.
Okay, Tampa Bay Comic Con that's happening right now this weekend.
Yeah. Because it was happening. It's happened to be starting right before I went back to work. Now it's, I'm back at
Oh,
work.
wow.
I couldn't have pulled it off, but that one was a lot of fun. All right, so Kevin, where do you want to see Cthulhu invade?
I had like two ideas. I would love to see them invade Marvel, like the Midnight Suns.
Mhm.
And then I went to Dark Horse and like invade Hellboy.
Yeah, that could be fun.
So yeah.
And that's one that could be done if Mike Mignola wanted to do it. It's all his.
Sure.
Those are his toys. He could make a Cthulhu crossover, and you're kind of already dealing with supernatural, so cosmic horror isn't a large stretch. So that could be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
And thank you, Steph. I had a lot of fun on that panel. I've done it 2 years in a row, and it's a lot of fun. And it's I'm really working on putting together a panel where I could talk about using comics in the classroom to teach kids how to read, because your non-readers, especially in California, we get a lot of language learners, and to use comic books to teach them, okay, you don't need to know the words, but look at the pictures. They're telling the story, and get them verbalizing. So I already do that in my class, but I need to kind of create a panel that would be able to showcase how to do it and how I use that in the classroom. So it's something I want to do.
I think it's something that would probably go over pretty well. I know on the East Coast and center states, there's been some people that have done stuff like that, but I don't know of a whole lot that have been out on the West. So I think there's definitely room for that panel to make some headway out there.
Yeah. So I'm hoping I'm going to probably pitch it for WonderCon first, because WonderCon's in March. And then since it's the same ownership as San Diego and WonderCon, I should be able to say, okay, I did this at WonderCon. It worked out well. And then you can also make some tweaks for San Diego, see what worked, what didn't work. But I just need to find a panel of, teachers, librarians, ones that do teach comic books, because a lot of teachers look at it like, oh, well, that's not real literature. And you're wasting it, because that makes kids want to read, and you're stealing your opportunity. When kids are passionate about reading it, it will transfer into other things, because they love stories. They love reading stories. And if comic books are the launching point, why are you going to stop it? Because you want them to be reading something more refined that won 5 Newbery Awards. It's not. Reading is reading, and if you can get kids reading, that's a victory every time. All right, so Braden, where would you like to see Cthulhu invade?
I have 2 answers. One of them, and they might have already done this before, but well, what is Peter Pan's land? Is that Neverland?
Oh, Neverland.
Neverland.
Have they done
Neverland.
Yeah.
Travis did that one, yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say that would take it. It's already done. But public domain for my second one. Isn't Steamboat Willie public domain too?
It is now.
It is.
Black
Yeah.
and white. I feel like that'd be
Yeah,
pretty
it
crazy.
is.
Cthulhu rises from the water.
Yeah.
Steamboat Willie moving the
That
ship.
would be interesting. That would be interesting.
I'm here for that.
Oh yeah.
Disney's not. They're going to do everything to possibly block that from happening. But I think that could be a lot of fun watching that one.
Listen, Disney, they just let some horror turn.
Yeah, sure.
Bambi.
Oh yeah.
And it's a pretty good movie. I'm not gonna lie. It's not.
Okay, I haven't seen that one.
I haven't seen it yet. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's got a lot of great reviews. So
I can tell you one thing about the Cthulhu Invade series that Orange Cone puts out is that one of the things that is, and Ed would know this, that when Travis is soliciting people to write, they have to make sure they're writing from the public domain version of the characters.
Mhm.
Right.
So like people may say, okay, well they've done Cthulhu Invades Wonderland, and somebody may say, hey, I want to use the Mad Hatter. Well, you have to use the Hatter version that's in public domain. The
Right.
Not the Johnny Depp one.
not the the Johnny Depp one is not
Yeah.
public domain,
Yeah.
so they have to make
Okay.
sure that when it's in there that it's not something that's going to violate copyright. So so Travis is very big about making sure that what gets into his books sticks to what's in public domain,
public-
not something
okay.
that's still covered.
Yeah, because that's
Right.
tricky. Because I found one particular character when I was doing my pitch for the third story for Volume 3, and one of the characters was actually created later and wasn't public domain. And I don't even think it was created by Lovecraft. It was a witch created by somebody else, but they're considered canon now in the Lovecraft universe. And I had to change my pitch to get rid of that. So yeah, I think in the end I like where my story went better, but yeah, I found the same thing. Like that character's public domain, that one is not. So you got to be careful. Yeah, Snow
I don't
White, you
think-
can't do Disney Snow White. You got to do a different Snow White.
I don't think a lot of people understand that, though. As soon as they hear it's public domain, they think it's like Superman's in the public domain, but it's not the Silver Age Superman. It's
Yeah.
the original, the non-flying, less powerful, I guess you would say, Superman. And then but people don't understand that, and that's why they were thinking that, you said Steamboat Willie, because it is Steamboat Willie. It's not Mickey.
It's not, yeah,
Mouse.
Mickey Mouse.
Just that
Mhm.
short.
It's
Is
just that
Superman in
Steamboat
public
Willie. Yeah.
domain? Is
Huh?
that right? Superman's in public domain, like the whatever.
Yeah, Superman is in the public, and Batman will be very soon, I believe.
Yeah, but I don't know, because you won't have a lot of the villains. If they
Yeah.
never mentioned Arkham City, you can't put that in. There's a lot of little things, but yeah, you could do one. I mean, we could see now Batman did a cosmic horror one. They didn't call it Cthulhu, but it was basically Cthulhu. And I know they did a comic of that, and they did an animated. So Batman has done a kind of Cthulhu, and that was entertaining. So for me, I'm going to throw in the link right now because I am live in a Cthulhu book, and I'm actually creating a story. I have one that's going to be coming out next year, and that's going to be a Dracula Sherlock Holmes crossover. My ultimate goal, and I have a little bit of art from that I can show. So that one, I guess that kind of goes into our next question, though. I'll show that then. But my ultimate goal is after he battles Sherlock Holmes, it becomes more like, or after he battles Dracula, it becomes more like Sherlock Holmes paranormal detective, and he's at all kinds of things.
Oh man, okay.
We're going to see
this is
him
beautiful.
with werewolves. We'll see him have to deal with cosmic horror, because as soon as Sherlock Holmes comes to the realization that there are these kind of supernatural things in the world, now that's the kind of detective he becomes. So that's my goal, is after Dracula Sherlock Holmes, after I finish those 4 issues, we turn it into Sherlock Holmes paranormal detective, and eventually he's going to cross paths with Cthulhu, with cosmic horror. I've already kind of outlined him battling a real werewolf. So, you have the Hounds of the Baskerville, but now it's going to be, let's have a real werewolf. Like that is an actual werewolf, not, let's disprove it. We're not going to Scooby-Doo it. It's going to be actual supernatural beings.
Heck yeah.
Nice.
So that's my plan for Cthulhu. I'm already kind of working on the notes for this giant Sherlock Holmes arc that will take, when it's all said and done, probably like 16 issues, but it could be ongoing. You never really have to end, because it's just, all right, solve the crime of the week kind of thing. So that's my plan for that one. And right now, I did a Cthulhu story in this. I just put the link into the chat, and this is Cthulhu Invades Fairy Tales Volume 2. And for this story, I got the Midas touch, which isn't technically a Grimm's fairy tale, but the King Midas, everything he touches turns to gold. Well, I merged that with the Dunwich horror. So you get Wilbur Whately.
Oh snap!
So there he is. In the beginning, we have our mayor who is losing his mill. In the story, it's just kind of mentioned his factory's closing down. He's desperate for money, so he asks Wilbur Whately, "Give me, help me get some money. I'm desperate." And of course, you don't want to make a deal with someone who's summoning old gods. So he gets his golden touch, but he becomes changed by it. It leads to lots of consequences. And every time he turns something gold, he starts to feed and feed Wilbur Whately's spell that he was trying to create to bring his brother back, Yog Sothoth. And in the end, chaos ensues, and
Oh boy.
the Midas touch backfires big time. And in the Dunwich Horror, we get kind of the Wilbur Whately's brother crashing through the town. We get the same thing, but in this one, we find out that the reason was because our guy got the Midas touch, and every
Nice.
time he used his greed,
Wow.
drove him to turn more things gold. He awoke the old god that ends up destroying the town of Dunwich. So that is my crossover story for this one. Link is in the comments. I'll put it in the Facebook comments as well, because for some reason it doesn't throw it into both. But that is live for, I think it's a few more weeks.
I think it's 13 more days.
Yeah, 13 more days. So almost 2 more weeks. Next, it ends on a Friday, so you want to grab that while you can. It's a lot of fun. There's some great stories in there.
Beautiful.
More stories besides mine. But yeah, I love writing in this universe, and I love having to scale things back, because everything I think is just giant scale. Like, okay, this will be 20 issues. This will be 24. But it's like, no, you got 8 pages. Tell your story and tell a tight, coherent story with only 8 pages. For any writer, I recommend trying to write for something smaller like an anthology, because it really, you have to follow the rules. You can't be like, oh, you know what? This issue's 32 pages because I need 32 pages. We're used to not having to follow rules. And when you do, I actually really enjoy it. You have to scale yourself back, and you have to still tell your story and make sure it's coherent. Because the worst thing is, all right, you got 8 pages, you used 8 pages, nothing makes sense. So you got to be tight, coherent, and I think 6 pages, and it's a lot of fun. So I recommend when the next ones open up, try to get Travis to take your pitch.
We did a story for another anthology that, to play on your point right there, where we had a pitch that was 8 pages. There was another version of that story that probably could have been 10 or 12 pages that, in some worlds, I kind of like the longer version of the pitch a little bit better, but anthologies can't have all 12-page stories.
Yeah.
So we had no choice but to be like, okay, even though we like this other, and if we were putting it out on our own, we might have done that. We have to go with the 8-page version because that's what's going to fit and be fair to put in the anthology. So I completely agree with you that it changes up the way that you write and how you write. Some of the little side things that you put in there and the swerves, you're like, dude, it's 8 pages. You can't have multiple swerves in an 8-page story. So you got to go with the thing you think is going to have the impact in that medium. So I completely agree with you there.
Yeah, you really have to trim the fat. And it's tricky. I think my first draft for this story was 14 pages. And it's like, okay, what isn't vital? And I gave it to my wife, who doesn't read Lovecraft at all. So I said, you need to read the story and tell me, is it coherent? Does it make sense to you, someone who can't fill in the gaps with your own prior knowledge? So once you get to that, it's there. And yeah, you learn a lot about writing when you have to write small.
Yeah.
All right, so let's head to our second topic, and that's kind of along the same lines. Public domain. What's a public domain universe that you love to write for one day, or maybe one that you're already writing in and it's just not yet published? So we'll go backwards this time. Braden, what's a public domain universe you'd love to write for?
So if Neverland is public domain, that'd be cool, right? The Peter Pan stuff. Yeah, that'd be a really cool space to kind of take on. I think you could do a lot with the idea that, right, like only kids are at Neverland and stuff like that, right? And then like what happens when they get older, you know what I mean? Like what kind of, and you could like throw some horror elements in there too. Yeah, I think that's just kind of overall a cool guidelines, cool rules for the universe to write for.
Yeah, Neverland has so much. It's such a right.
Oh yeah.
They've done Cthulhu Invades Neverland, but you can do so many things. and play
Mhm.
around with Neverland, and you'll never run out of good stories that you
There's
can
so
tell.
many endless opportunities.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
So, Kevin, what would you like to write for? What public domain would you like to write your own stories in?
I really love Hansel and Gretel.
Mhm.
Because honestly, I have ideas where I could definitely make a twisted horror story of Hansel and Gretel.
Mhm.
But also I would love to do Steamboat Willie because I think I'll probably make that a horror comedy because it'll be fun to do.
Yeah,
But yeah, definitely Hansel and Gretel on Steamboat Willie.
yeah. I mean,
And plus, I think that would challenge my writing too because
Yeah.
it's a very interesting concept to do, so I would definitely do those.
Yeah, and you have to kind of follow someone else's rules because when you're writing your own
Yeah.
universe, you create the rules. You can rewrite the rules when you want to, but if you're writing in someone else's universe, the rules are there. You can play around with those rules, but you can't change. Like, okay, now then in Neverland, everyone can grow old. No, you can't do that unless you want to. Okay, the curse now in Neverland is everyone gets old, but you have to explain how the rules have changed. So
Yep.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. There's so many good ones. So yeah, that'd be fun. And Steamboat Willie, I just imagine, okay, he's doing his thing on the boat, and then in comes a pirate ship, and now you've changed everything.
Yeah.
So Matt, what's a universe you'd like to write in?
So, knowing the kind of stuff that I normally write, I think it's on brand for me to say I'd love to write in like the Frankenstein world, the mad scientist kind of world.
Oh yeah.
That's something that is literally just like a step, not even into another lane. Like I'm already like driving right down the middle of the lane and just barely slightly moving over into that. I think the Frankenstein world and the mad scientist world is something that would really be easy for me to actually just move right over into.
Yeah, that
Oh,
one. Yeah, that one it's already in your wheelhouse so much that yeah, you could have a lot of fun. I want to read your Frankenstein story, so
Heck yeah.
got to make that happen.
Heck
Next,
yeah.
All right, so Dash, what public domain world do you want to write in?
King Arthur, straight up. Just
Ooh.
I would love
Nice.
to take the Arthurian legends and expound a little bit. I mean, because you still have so much more you could explore. There hasn't been a good Arthur since Excalibur in 1980. So it really is time for some new Arthur stuff. So yeah, I think I don't know what you could do. I mean, you could probably still do a horror aspect of it because you still have kind of the druidic witches that could probably play around with and stuff like that. So I'd like to possibly work in that some horror into the Arthurian legends and stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you could do so much with Modred and all of them. So
Mhm.
in that aspect.
So Steph wants to write in the Edgar Allan Poe world. And oh my gosh, yeah, it doesn't have to be comics. You can write it in anything. 'Cause he's got so much. I mean, for Edgar Allan Poe, you have horror, you have detective stories. I mean, it's just such a ripe universe. So I would love to see anything written in the universe because Poe was my first love, but the first non kind of comic book, choose your own adventure books that really became my passion were Edgar Allan Poe. I discovered it probably in about 4th grade when it was most likely very inappropriate for me to be reading.
A little dark, yeah.
I think I bought it in Scholastic, so it's one of those things where it was like
Yeah.
the terror stories of Edgar Allan Poe, and it was something that just I ordered it and I was hooked. I wanted everything. I read everything, his poems, his detective, his horror, and yeah, that's a universe I would love to write in as well because it is just got so much. Okay, so I'm going to stick with one that I'm actually in the process of writing, and that is my Dracula Sherlock Holmes one. Like I said, I wanted to eventually expand into something bigger where Sherlock Holmes steps into all kinds of cool public domain ones. And in these public domain ones, I was thinking, yeah, I mean, he could go into the Frankenstein world. I also have one where it's Sherlock Holmes and Reanimator, where I've kind of merged those two. So these are all ones I have. I have notes for too many damn things. That's
I know the feeling.
My giant stack of notebooks that's kind of never ending, huge pile. It's hard to think I'll ever get to all of them, but let's hope so. The one I have going right now is my Sherlock Holmes Dracula. That one is in process. I'm thinking probably late next year, or not late next year, early next year. My artist ran into a few issues with her private or her personal life, so she had to kind of pause things, but she's back and working, and we have this fun. This will be a little 4-issue mini series that will set up my kind of Sherlock Holmes detective of the paranormal detective. So let's check out.
That's awesome.
Our next one, and that is our Ozzy Osbourne one. So Ozzy Osbourne just passed away. So if you're not an Ozzy fan, I apologize for this topic.
No worries.
Hold on. Whoops. I thought I typed it, but I guess I didn't press save. So Ozzy did his final concert, his farewell concert, and then passed away shortly after that. So Ozzy Osbourne, let's talk about our favorite memories of Ozzy, if you have any. So, all right, we'll start kind of in the middle this time. So, Matt, what are some Ozzy memories that you have?
It's weird that you'd come to me first. Like, do you feel like I'm like somebody that maybe isn't like?
I'm just looking in the middle. So you sit on the panel.
Here's what I would say about Ozzy, and I'm going to take it a little bit differently than where you might think I might go. As someone that lived through being on both sides of the satanic panic, where everything, if you didn't understand it, music was evil, and you tried to find evil around every corner. Ozzy was the poster boy for the satanic panic in the late 80s, early 90s. And it's hilarious if you go back and look at a lot of the music that he was playing, you're like, really? This is the music that people were freaking out on? It's not like it was like Legion black metal or something like that. I mean, it was just kind of there. But to me, the thing that I think is hilarious is you have this guy that people were like, he's the personification of evil, biting heads off of bats and all that, to being the comedic, lovable personality that when you have his funeral, you've literally got a marching band playing Crazy Train. How wild is it? How much has society changed to have this guy be what he is now, and kind of show you that all this fear and all this ridiculousness back in the late 80s and early 90s was completely just unwarranted. And without getting into the other celeb that died at the same time that was a part of 80s pop culture. Wrestling wouldn't be what it is without that person.
Yeah.
Metal music and music is like, you look at the lineage of any band that plays heavy music, at some point they go back to Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
They go back to playing some kind of doom style guitar riff. And so it's crazy to be like, this dude was a part of the influence of hundreds of thousands of bands that are out there in the world right now, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah. And like you said, any metal band, there's a line that draws directly to Black Sabbath. They can pretend they're not, but most of them won't. I don't know of any metal bands that wouldn't say Black Sabbath was a huge influence for them. So yeah, I agree with you on that one. And then Kevin, what are your Ozzy memories?
So I am a very early Ozzy fan because I didn't really know Ozzy until he did a theme for like WWE pay-per-view a couple years ago. So that was the first time I actually heard his music, and that's when I started listening to Ozzy. Is from his theme from WWE. So that's really my memory. because then I found out who he like how he did for charities and stuff.
Yeah.
And I became a huge fan of him, especially from his last concert.
Mhm.
I think Pops just said they made like 200 million and they sent it off to charity.
Yeah. So that's amazing.
And so yeah, that's really my only memory of Ozzy because I'm an early fan of him. So but yeah, Ozzy's freaking awesome. Just from the short time I became a fan of him, he was freaking awesome.
Yeah, that concert was something. I was watching that through the whole day, and it was just so good. So many bands, and then none of them got paid to be there. It's all for charity. I mean, granted, all those bands don't really need the money. Like they're already sitting on their own piles of money, but still, it's just a big mega charity event. So yeah, that was beautiful. So yes, the evil Ozzy with his $200 million to charity. Right.
So yeah, he is such an evil guy, guys. Oh my god,
yeah.
he's such evil.
If you had talked to my grandma back in the day, once we get to mine, then yeah, the whole the perception, like you said, what like Matt was talking about, was so different. So all right, Braden, what's your Ozzy memory?
Mine's probably gonna be very different. There was a TV show in the early 2000s called The Osbournes. That my mom was actually a huge fan of, and so my first my first introduction to Ozzy was actually just watching him on TV, and later kind of finding out about the music and stuff. And very talented, yeah. But well, yeah, most of them was just reality TV guy.
That's where he kind of did a flip, and you almost think of like Snoop Dogg now. Snoop Dogg was a scary gangster when he came out, and now he's the lovable commercial guy. So it's kind of Snoop and Ozzy both changed their entire perception. Although Ozzy's, I don't think, was really earned. It was, little things he did, and then it just created this mythology around him. Where Snoop Dogg was probably genuinely scary for a minute when he was, first coming up.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
The cuddly
rapper
that everyone likes watching with Martha Stewart and Willie Nelson.
Don't be talking about Martha's boyfriend.
All right, so Dash, what's your Ozzy memory?
Oh yeah. Listen, we've talked about some of the greatest things to come out of the '70s, and Sabbath. Definitely. I got my start with my brother, and by War Pigs and Children of the Grave and Snowblind, all those songs, and then you go, but and then like Braden said, you got the Osbournes, and I still love, but to me, one of the greatest songs, and it's not even his song per se, him and Lita Ford, "Close My Eyes Forever." That song is just one of the most phenomenal songs I've ever heard, and Ozzy lends his voice to it. But it's funny that you put this on our thing. That last night I was sitting there going, obviously all these streaming services are doing dedications, like you can find things for all these people that have died. But I didn't know there was a show. Apparently him and Jack, I guess Ozzy Osbourne as a lover of history, and I guess him and Jack did a show where they're going around and looking at historical things, and so I found that. So I've got that set up on the to watch show, and we'll see how that goes. But it's just like Matt said, I've been on both sides of the Satanic Panic as well, and I think a lot of it stemmed from the covers, just the covers of his albums, from Bark at the Moon to. But look, you go to any sporting event now, and you've got Crazy Train, playing. I mean, that's the kind of legacy that this guy has left, and he's had it for a long time. You can't go into I go watch an OU football game, and when it's time for something big going on, they start playing Crazy Train, all aboard, and then it's just so. I mean, it is amazing that the legacy that this and that Ozzy has left, and he is a very good dude. I mean, you watch him. I think Sharon had that show where she was on the top. I don't think it was the other one that she was on, when he comes out with roses and surprises her for her birthday. And this is a guy that absolutely adored and loved his wife, and I think that's a fantastic thing about Ozzy to remember, is that he was a family man, and so you can get past all the. But I think as humans we put our imagination ahead of common sense sometimes, and try to defeat things. But yep, that's my, I just love Ozzy. I mean, if it wasn't for my brother, I wouldn't know Black Sabbath, and I probably would have never known Ozzy. So I got to thank my brother for that.
Yeah. And I'm going to send a quick shout out to John Westhoff, who writes a book about if Black Sabbath took over the world, and it's live right now. Drumsticks of Doom. Pick it up. So I just wanted to send the quick shout out to him. But for mine, I was the kind of kid who always wanted to be contrary. And I remember the Satanic Panic, and everybody was like, "Oh, you can't listen to Ozzy." So I remember going to the swap meet and buying up all these different Ozzy buttons, where he's the werewolf from Bark the Moon and everything else. And when my grandma would make me go to church with her, I would make sure I wore nothing but Ozzy buttons, because I just wanted to be so edgy. I'm like, check me out.
Contrarian.
People, look at me. I'm scary. And I'm like, I'm a dumb little 8-year-old who just
You're
thinks
such a
edge,
contrarian, Ed.
because they're telling me you shouldn't listen to this. It's evil. I'm like, that's my favorite music then. I mean, that's why I'm a Mets fan, because my grandfather told me I could root for any team I want, but I better not root for the Mets. I'm like, fuck yes, let's go Mets.
So hold on. So is this why you don't like the Goonies? Because everybody else likes the Goonies, and you're like, forget that crap. I'm not going to like that fucking movie.
That's why I didn't like the Eagles.
Oh, no, fuck the Eagles. They just suck. We need to go back in.
Oh, my God.
So, no.
Ed and I will
me.
disagree on the Eagles till the day we die. Ed.
That's all right.
We'll disagree on the Eagles.
I acknowledge one good guitar riff. That's as much as you get from me. So, yeah. But with that, it was more, I was the kid. And it was, of course, my grandmother thought I was like, she was probably throwing holy water on me at night, because she thought I was just pure evil. Because I played Dungeons and Dragons and listened to Ozzy. So I was, kids are good, but we're worried about this one. So, like, yeah, bless him, Father, for he's wearing Ozzy buttons and playing D&D. It's over.
Yo, you almost hit the holy trinity of Satanic Panic there.
Well, yeah. So that was it, because my grandmother would read it in the news, and it was just like, or see it on the news and think, oh no, he does that, and oh no, he likes that. So yeah, I liked all the things I wasn't supposed to, but yeah, that was me. I just remember my first Ozzy memory was trying to be cool and edgy by wearing Ozzy buttons to church. So yeah, different. But I loved his music. I had, at the time, I think I had the tapes of, his solo stuff, the Black Sabbath stuff. Now I have them all on vinyl, and you can bust it out anytime, and kind of introducing the kids to that. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It's sad that we can't do him on our show. We can't actually do an Ozzy album on our show, because I think we both have listened to every Ozzy.
Maybe one of the late career ones. That would be about it. But yeah, we never made it to Nickelback. We made it to shitting on the Eagles. I don't know if we've ever made it to Nickelback.
Well, we got
maybe one day, but
Nickelback. They get such a bad rap. Look at this photograph, okay? Just look at this photograph.
So yes, I guess we can do that. But all right, we have talked about our Ozzy memories, and let's now talk about campaigns, or if you have anything pre-launch campaigns that you would like to promote. So, and it doesn't have to be campaigns. Let's just say promote your shit. So, Kevin, what would you like to promote today?
My Arcfire issue 2, which I'll be launching August 28th.
All right, let me get that up for us. That is Arcfire issue 1 and 2.
Yep, Tank is right.
What did Tank say? Sorry, I was getting it up.
You're right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure if my grandmother actually spent the time to listen to it, she would have thought it was okay. She hated them. She hated AC/DC.
Yeah.
My aunt she said that every time she would bring home an AC/DC album, my grandmother would step on it and squish it and make sure that it got thrown away. So yeah, They were the ones perceived as evil. But all right, let's talk about. Let me pull it up for us here. Your book. Tell us a little bit about it, and I'll
So,
get notified right now.
so Arcfire is about my character Theo Arcfire as he's on a journey to figure out basically who he is, and because he has a lot of cosmic power, but he's trying to see how far does his power go. So he's been sent on this journey to find others like him because it's a rumor in the series that there are others like him that are around that's preparing for a potential battle that's coming soon in the series, and there's a prophecy that he's destined to lead the charge to whatever's coming. So, so if you like supernatural stories like vampires or creature stories, um, I think this series would be for you. I say it's like Stranger Things mixed with Alien, and a little bit on steroids. As you get deeper in the series.
Very nice.
So here we go. Tank, you want links? Here are links. There's our first one. Right here. And then there's also, if you go through Tank, if you look earlier, I'll put it back in. But we also have our Cthulhu link because that is up right now. And I have a story in that one. And Matt has been featured in some of them. So did you do the Neverland one, Matt?
Yeah, we have a small thing in the first Oz. Then we did a story in Wonderland, and we did a story in Neverland. Neverland was fun because Travis came to us. He's like, "Hey, I have an idea. I think that this might be a good one for you guys to do." And we're like, "Oh, cool!" And so we literally took that idea and turned it and made it completely the opposite of what he wanted us to do. And it actually worked out really well in the story, but it was the exact opposite of what was pitched to us.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes you take it a different direction and find a better path. So
Nice.
And then the Cthulhu's up, and then Tank. He said he's going to drop a few links. By all means, drop the links. We are here to support indie creators. So if they're out there and they have campaigns that we should be looking at, drop them in here. I'll share them up there. And yeah, definitely. First, make sure you get in there and follow Kevin's campaign. It costs you nothing to hit that follow button. You're not committed to any money. You're just helping him gain followers, make Kickstarter like the algorithm better. So please hit that follow button. It costs you nothing. If you already have a Kickstarter account, you don't even have to make an account. Hit follow, support Kevin's book, get him up to help him try to get as close to 100 followers as possible, which used to be easy. It's getting harder and harder to get those 100 followers, for me at least. I don't know about the rest of us here. All right. And someone's got background noise, and I don't know where.
Girls.
All right.
Probably my girls. Probably my
Okay.
girls.
Okay. Yeah, I'm hearing. It's like, what am I hearing? No, it's not mine. They're all still asleep. It's like I have the lazy household that's down. So, Matt, you just sent me your link. I'll get that up. But first, Braden, I know you're in pre-launch as well.
Yeah.
So let me get yours up real quick.
For sure.
Stop sharing. And do you know when you're launching?
In the next month. Shooting for probably around the end of August. Yeah.
Okay. And yours is Sketch Night?
Yeah.
All right. So let me get that up. All right, there we go. Tell us a little bit about Sketch Night.
Cool. Yeah, so this is Sketch Night. It's in a shared city universe with Haven. Sketch Night follows William Wilds as he goes through kind of the trials and tribulations of high school, while also kind of grappling with being an enhanced, which is like a mutant from X-Men kind of in our universe. Enhanced aren't well liked in society. And I wanted to create this this character where in his everyday life, he's in a wheelchair and things aren't so easy for him. And then he kind of has these darker, otherworldly powers that are a bit mysterious, that allow him to do things that he normally wouldn't be able to do. One of them being able to fly on a hoverboard and walk and suck the things up into pages. Yeah, I took a lot of inspiration from Spider-Man. I say if you like Spider-Man, if you like Full Metal Alchemist, this is kind of the book for you. I really like how this is coming out, and yeah, just the pages that we have, and I think the story that it takes you on is really, really cool.
Nice. You're launching it later this month.
Nice.
And how
Later in
many issues are we looking at for this story?
So with Haven and Sketch Night, both I'm aiming for like a 12 issue kind of like finish for both of them. So issue 1, we're at the beginning, but yeah, more to come.
All right, great. So again, this is pre-launch. It costs you nothing to hit that follow button. Let's get him as close as we can to that magic 100 followers.
Nice.
And that is up right there. It's in the chat. And let's get Matt just sent me some stuff, so let me pull that up so we can take a look at what Matt has. And Dash sent me some stuff as well, so I will pull all of those up. Just give me a moment. All right, so Matt, you wanted to start with your sampler.
Yeah. So so in the last couple of days, we literally just released this. So we've got a lot of things that we do at Symmetry Creations. We know there's a lot of different entry points that people might have to becoming supporters. I know Kevin is a big fan of Misfits Clubhouse. I know there's some people that only know us from the stuff we do in the steampunk world. There's some people that are fans of the metal music. There's some people that only know us from like when I'm a panel host and an MC at conventions, Steph doing her articles for things like Fangoria and all that. And sometimes people just don't know that there's the other things that we do. Yeah. So what we did was instead of just being like, hey, here's a number 1 from one of our issues, we basically took and made basically 5 ash can sizes of all of our titles and put them all in one sampler. So you've got a sample for Heirs of Isildur, you've got a sample for Misfits Clubhouse, Tales from Nocturnia, I Am Keto, Tatsumi the Serpent Mistress.
Beautiful.
Make sure that there are a ton of QR codes. So if you want to have, you see this, the first time you've seen Heirs of Isildur, our apocalyptic sci-fi story set in a steampunk world, you're like, hey, I want to go listen to the music from that, or I want to go read more about this or see what products and things are out there. Everything is in there. So as you can see right at the end, we kind of show some of the covers, some of the merch that we've done for it, whether it be shirts or socks. We're well known for our socks, poker chips. We have custom leather work that's been done. We make sure all those things are in there. We did this to be free. This is not something that we're selling. We want people to be able to see the kind of things that we do. It's just a Google Drive link. Ed will put it up there in the chat. So if it's something you want to go, pick up and go take a look and see how we put this thing together, great. We made sure that there's links to, because Steph's got bylines for over 100 or nearly 100 articles for sites like Fangoria, Horror Geek Life, Creepy Kingdom, Horror Buzz, writing horror and geek culture articles, movie reviews. There's, as I've said before, there's a lot of music videos and metal music and all that for you Ozzy Osbourne fans out there that want to imagine Ozzy mixed with a angry bear thrown into a blender with a machine gun. That's probably what our stuff sounds like.
Beautiful. Yeah, and I've read the Isildur. I have Misfits Clubhouse. It's going straight to my classroom. The kids come in on Wednesday, and I have that. I'm going to give it to the library, so it's going to be
stoked.
Spread around our school. My street cred has gone up at least 85% because I have a back. I have a quote on the back as well. So
that's right. Ed's quote about street cred with his 3rd grade class literally made it onto the back of our book.
Yeah, I mean, how can I get more street cred than that? Like, that's my name, because the fact that I write a comic book does not mean shit to them. Like, oh, you write a comic, that's cool, whatever. You're a teacher. You're not cool. But these guys, they're cool. And being, name dropped on theirs, now I'm a little cooler. Like, all right, we don't care about your book, but we care about that you got mentioned in this book. So, yeah, you take what you can get. You'll never be cool.
If you're somebody that's got a Kickstarter campaign and, you do the, digital stretch goals where, hey, if you get to a certain level, this was designed so you can add this in as a stretch goal as well for your for your campaigns, just let us know that you do it so that way we can help to promote you as well.
Fair enough.
So let's put that link in the chat right now.
Yeah, we do have 2 Kickstarters that'll be coming out later this year. Part of the reason we did this is because we've already done Heirs of Isildur, the Perilous Prospects book 4 or 5 this year, Misfits Clubhouse, and Tatsumi the Serpent Mistress #1. We did all
I'm
those.
so ready for Tatsumi.
We're pumped. It's at the
I'm
printers
so
right
ready.
now. We are
Nice.
pumped for that. We have the pre-launch for issue 2 out right now. The art is done for issue 2 as far as like the inks and the draws. Script is done. We've got a band that is already signed on. The Dread Crew of Oddwood has got a cameo appearance in the issue, and they completely fit exactly with the aura of a scene. We're going to have this tavern brawl. We need to have a band playing on the stage, and the band needs to be playing music that would be in this era. And then we're like, why have we not asked our buds in the Dread Crew? So they were totally down with it. They've approved of the way we've portrayed them in the issue, so to speak. And our artist is already on to working on issue 3 now, which gets absolutely bonkers. Tatsumi #2 is up there, and then Heirs of Isildur, the Perilous Prospects, the definitive book 5 of 5, the finale of the story arc is also up. That'll be the next one that we run, and then later on this year, we're going to hopefully be able to get to the Tatsumi #2 campaign as well. So if you guys want to go follow those things, that would be awesome. You want to go download or take a look at the sampler and see if there's a story in there you dig or metal music you dig, that'd be awesome as well.
Yeah, so all that's in the chat. Let me put in the next one. I'm going to share the Heirs of Isildur.
Yeah, we are psyched to get to the end of this arc. This is our flagship title, long time in running. We've got two metal music albums, and most of it centers around Heirs. Heirs of Isildur is basically where the center of the universe is, the stuff that we do. And I Am Keto attaches in. Tales from Nocturnia, our medieval fantasy title, attaches in. So we are psyched to be able to get to the finale of this arc. Nice. And we are pretty happy with where it finishes off. These are a little bit larger books. So Tatsumi is going to be a 32-page comic. Heirs is normally 44 to 56 page, perfect bound. So if you have a shelf that's got your like trade paperbacks and all that on it, where you can read the spine, all the Heirs of Isildur books have a spine on them, so you can have them nicely stacked up on your.
Snap! Okay.
Yeah, so I got some sitting on the bookshelf over there. I mean, they're tiny, you can't really see them, but yeah, I think I have a few sitting up there because they go. Nice. They're more bookshelf than long.
Oh, that's awesome.
The way he builds them, they go beautifully on the bookshelf, and you don't put them in the long box where you can't see them, because I have too many damn long boxes, and once in a while I need someone. I'm like, damn, I got to start sifting through all the long boxes. Once in a while you find some hidden treasures, though. I found first appearance, like I was flipping through. I'm like, oh, first appearance of Deadpool? That's cool. I'll pull that one out. Yeah, I have some hidden gems, but they're hidden deep in long boxes, like my baseball cards. I have a Jordan rookie somewhere in my garage, but where? I'll tell my kids when I pass, like, dig in those baseball card boxes before you go drop them off at Goodwill, because there's a few hidden gems.
You need to go find that Jordan rookie, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, you better.
You can fund your entire comic runs with that.
Yeah, I mean, I need to get that one. I know it's there. It's probably horrible grade, but any grade Jordan ends up worth money. So even if it's a 1.0, which is probably what it is, because I would sort my basketball cards into teams, and then I would move them, and yeah, they're all trashed. All my cards are, but they were collected by a 10-year-old.
Got the rubber band marks on them.
I didn't do that. I at least had boxes. They were shoe boxes though, so they weren't a clean fit. So the edges are probably all rubbed. But again, it's a Jordan rookie, so even in its worst shape, that's going to have some value. So that's one I got to dig out. I've been digging, but after I get through one full big box and look at all the junk wax that I've collected, like, all right, good, a Barry Bonds rookie, steroids ruined that one. A Mark McGwire rookie, wow. I may as well just recycle them. I'll make more. Yeah. So, yeah, but knowing it's in there, I did discover I had the first series of Garbage Pail Kids just sitting in a box. I'm like,
Oh,
Say what?
yeah. I had series 1, 2, and 3.
All right, hold on, Ed. Listen, man, you and me, we're gonna have a talk after this because I've got all my Garbage Pail Kids back to when I was like, a little kid.
Mhm.
I still to this day, all I have is some of the giant series ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to talk.
Yeah.
might want to
Those
check
are-
some of those.
Those are the hidden gems that I have found, but most of it's just junk. Like, wow, another Kevin Elster rookie card. Yeah, everybody's looking for that. So, oh man, you start digging through those brown border tops cards, and it just ruins you. So, I know it's there. It's just a matter of digging them out. So yeah, like I said, I found some of the gems. Now it's discovering the rest, but it's one of those things where one box will take me a good 2 weeks to get through. So I have those ones that are like the super wide, that have 8 rows on them. So yeah, it's time consuming, but I'll tell the kids, don't just dump them. Check for treasures. They're hiding in there amongst the crap. All right, so let's see. Dash, let me pull yours up so you can see.
right.
So go in, hit that follow button. These are all in pre-launch. They cost you $0 to get in there and hit that follow button. It helps them. It helps boost it up so that they can get that Project We Love tag. Kickstarter looks to see the followers that you've accumulated and, of course, your performances in past ones. And once in a while, they'll just arbitrarily throw it on you. Because the worst campaign I ever ran as far as dollars was the Project We Love one. So I'm like, oh, well, you just can't tell. You don't know what they're going to do with you. So let me pull up Dash's stuff here. And these are live right now on Amazon. You can pick them up right now. They'll be at your house in 2 days if you have Amazon
2 or
Prime?
3 days. Yeah.
Yep.
2 or 3
So
days.
let's-
So yeah.
Let's pull that up. So there we go. Hell Comes to Texas, a Colt Windsor adventure. Dash, tell us about this book.
That is my very first foray into fiction. I'm not as talented as you comic book guys are, but I wanted to try my hands at my first fiction. So this is Hell Comes to Texas, Colt Windsor adventure. If you like Pale Rider and you like Supernatural, this book is for you. Colt is a very skeptical at first former Texas Ranger who loses his wife to a demon, and now he's on the hunt. And along the way, he starts to learn that there's more to life than just chasing down bad guys. There's more bad than there is good at times. So this is book 1. I'm currently working on book 2. And it's funny that we mentioned some of the public domain with the Hansel and Gretel and Red Riding Hood earlier, because along the way there's going to be some familiar stories in part 2 where he deals with some of those types of things. And so that's my first fiction book, and then I think we got my nonfiction.
Yeah, let me pull that one up next. All right. Alrighty. Let me share that just a second.
Okay. But yeah, Colt is alive on Amazon right now. It comes in hardback and paperback. Unfortunately,
Heck yeah.
we did not do a ebook for this one.
All right, so let's take a look at your other book, your nonfiction book. Here we go.
All right.
Okay, let me pull it up. Sorry.
You're all right.
I forget you press share screen, then you got to press it again to actually share.
So this was my very first foray. One day I just sat down and wrote. I was out for a walk and I was thinking about all the different quotes that superheroes have said along the way, especially Superman and Captain America. So I took some of their famous quotes from movies, comics, as well as some true to life, what I call true to life superheroes, where you have real people such as Stuart Scott and things like that who are dealing with cancer. This was just my way of dealing with PTSD at the time. I just retired, I've been retired for a few years, and I was still trying to figure myself out. So it's not a very long book, but this one does come in Kindle and paperback. As you can see, it's only 56 pages, I think. It's just, this was a love letter to myself, I think. But it was how I got through dealing with some of my issues and using quotes from superheroes to kind of add it to my daily life and dealing with issues that I was going through. So, it's always still an ongoing process, but those are my two that are alive right now. I'm currently working on hybrids. If you like Jurassic Park and you like Stargate, then you'll like hybrids. It's a multiverse type story. There's pocket universes or pockets and portals to all these different universes on Earth. You're gonna be seeing with hybrids. I got the idea. My daughters and I were in. I homeschool my daughters, and we were sitting there watching animals one day, and this video came up of hybrid animals and what they would look like. And so it kind of just jumped into my brain of how to do a story like that. So it is close to being done. I'm looking for a drop dead date of September 2nd. You should be starting to see pre-orders very soon. Once I have that squared away and the cover squared away, we'll start dropping pre-order for that book. But like I said, if you like Stargate and you like Jurassic Park, this will be right up your alley. So that's what I'm working on right now.
Beautiful.
And again, Cult, be looking for Cult Part 2, probably December, January timeframe.
Nice.
Beautiful.
All right. So we'll share mine last. So we'll do a quick little talk about Immortal Era issue 11. So let me see. Try to get at the comments. So Immortal Era 11, it is live right now. So let me add that to the stage, and I'll keep it brief because if you watch the show, you've heard about it already. So you don't need to hear all about it again. So I'll give you my quick elevator pitch as if you were walking up to my table at a con. So let me remember, you got to press share twice. There we go. All right. So this is Immortal Era 11. It's an ongoing series. When it's all said and done, it's going to be 24 issues. And Immortal Era is the story of a post-apocalyptic world 200 years in the future where everyone has gained immortality. But with their immortality, they didn't get powers or abilities. They can still age, still get sick. One of our main characters right here is a decapitated head who's forced to live on. So it centers on a group of heroes. They're out seeking relics from the past, relics that would explain exactly why people became immortal. Because for them, the ultimate goal is to restore the natural life cycle and to save humanity by killing them. And issue 11 has our main heroes in precarious situations. In issue 10, they infiltrated the aid soldiers' headquarters, and their goal is to first find one of the relics they need to bring death back, and second, to take this whole thing offline so that these police that govern the upper surface are no longer there holding people back from leaving the underground subways where our characters are forced to live. So they want to destroy that and get the piece of death that they need, but they find themselves trapped with 3 villainous people that first showed up in issue 8. So if you've been reading along, I love to throw little bits and pieces through the story. So one of our main storylines in issue 9, we find out the backstory of one of our main characters, and you started seeing hints of that story all the way back in issue 3. So I love to throw little nods to things because this story, it's not fully written, but it's fully outlined and noted. So I know all the major points that are going to happen. This is issue 11. So issue 12 will be our ending of this second story arc. And in that one, the world's going to change for good. Everything's going to look different. It's where I blow up my own universe, and both editors who read it were like, holy shit, you really did. Now I know what you mean by that. And then if you want spoilers, I wrote a summary of every single issue. You say, I don't want to buy all that shit. I'm not rich. I just want to buy issue 11 and start from there. Well, here's a summary of issues 1 through 10. I'm not going to go through there because if you want to read them, obviously the summary gives only the Cliff Notes version. You're not going to get the nuance that's in there by reading everything. You're not going to catch the little nods I throw in early issues that take impact later issues, but you'll know the kind of the back of the book summary for every single issue. We have lots of rewards. You can buy issue 11. You can buy previous issues. I have lots of graded books available. You can also get the Cthulhu Invades Fairy Tales Volume 1. You can get the Cthulhu Invades Fairy Tales Preview Edition. I still have a few copies of that one left, and lots of stuff. But you can look yourself. If you're interested, head over to the Kickstarter. Link is in there. And we are almost at 3,500 and unlocking our next stretch goal. If we make it to 4,000, we've run out of stretch goals that I picked. And I'm going to set another 5,000 stretch goal to get pin number 8 in this pin set. So that's the goal. If we can make it there, we will get the 8th pin. That would be Tristessa, our kind of big bad of the entire series. So she'll be the next pin that gets unlocked. But once we reach 4,000, I'll start actually getting it designed by my pin company. So head over there. We still have a few weeks left. I think, let me see, go up here and tell you exactly how much time we have left. We have 15 days left. So just over 2 weeks left. So head over. It ends a little bit after the Cthulhu one. So grab this, grab Cthulhu. Both are available for nearly Cthulhu, almost 2 weeks. This one, just over 2 weeks. And please take a look. Any little bit helps. You want to throw $1 at it because you just get tired of listening to me talk about it. Like, here, take $1 and shut up. I will be pleased. I'll never complain. All right. So now, Dash, go ahead and tell us where we can find you if people want to find your stuff or find.
Oh, you can always find me being silly on Facebook, Instagram as well at Dash Hooper. Both of them, just find me. If you like to play silly games, I'm always on Facebook.
Sounds good. All right, Matt, where can we find you?
Easiest thing to do for us is to go to linktree.com/InSymmetry Creations, INSYMMETRY Creations. We've got, I think, 20 different links up there, whether it's our social medias, all the different things that we do are all up there. We're going to probably in the next 10 minutes, I'll have the link to the sampler on that page as well. So yeah, if you're somebody that wants to get up and read the articles that Steph's done, look at our different titles, listen to the metal music, all that, everything you need to be able to get to InSim, including our store, are all going to be right there on that Linktree link.
Nice.
Very
And I
nice.
didn't ask you, how many issues is the Heirs of Isildur going to be?
So Heirs for the Perilous Prospects arc is 5 issues, but so every issue is 44 to 56 pages. We did do a previous arc that started with, it was a more illustrated novel, and that's the Crossroads Conundrum. That one had 11 issues put out that was then turned into a trade paperback. We did a one-shot in between that and Perilous Prospects. So I think there's been like 18 issues and 2 albums that have been released for it so far. So there's been a bit.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. All right, Kevin, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at I am Kevin Davis Official. On Facebook is I am Kevin Davis CEO. And also you can find my business page at Kevin C International on Instagram as well.
Awesome. All right. And Braden, where can we find you?
Yeah, on all social medias, I'm Haven Comic, HAVEN Comic, to stay up to date with Brook City and what we have going on.
Sounds
Very
good.
nice.
And you can find me at Finish Line Comics on all of your social medias. And we will see you next week. We have a fun show. We have Fish, Lori, and Sarah coming back after our last show ran a full 2 hours. And then she made our music show run 2 hours too. So
Yes.
I guess
Lori.
Lori just brings the 2-hour shows to us. But yeah, but it wasn't a complaint. We looked at the clock at the end like, oh, damn, we've gone 2 hours.
Yeah.
So we were having fun. We were bashing Fish. My brother sent me a text complaining. So I'm like, no, I'm still not going to say Fish is good. But yeah, he was complaining and he realized, oh, wait, I never have seen a Fish concert sober. So maybe you're right. So
Man, see that phrase could take on so many different things. You said you were bashing
Absolutely.
Fish. It could have been the PH ISH. It could have been the actual human being officially. You could have had some salmon out on your desk with having Lori on there who likes to like eat things up in the backyard.
Yeah,
Using
Lori,
sledgehammers
one
and
of
just
her
pushing
weapons.
fish guts everywhere. Yeah.
going like all Smeagol and singing our Happy Fish song.
We were bass and fish.
All right, but now we can do more bashing fish. Yeah, it's like, all right, I don't want to support AI, but I can have fun with those images. So since I can't draw, like, here's a stickman bashing a fish, and that sucks. Damn you, AI! Why do you have to be so shitty? All right, all right. So we will see you on Wednesday. Dash and I will be here talking about Steve Earle with special guest Sarah and Matt. We're ready. Bring your next pick. We are ready for you. We had a lot of fun with the first one.
I'll do it, man. I'll do it. I love the fact Steph told me that when you met her at San Diego Comic-Con, your wife said, "Oh, is she the one that is the partner of the Flamingo Overlord guy?" And I was like, I love the fact that that's how she knows what Insymmetry Creations is. Yes.
Oh, anytime we see a flamingo, it comes up like, the Overlord is watching you. So yeah, they have this giant flamingo statue at our hotel, and we're like,
Trollfest just played the largest metal fest in the world today, Wackenfest. They played on the main stage at Wackenfest, and I'm pretty sure they played in their pink flamingo outfits.
Yes.
Nice.
All right. Well, when they hit California, I will be there wearing my flamingo hat. I'd wear it now, but it's too freaking hot. It's summertime.
I'll let you know next time they're on an American tour, man.
Cool. Sounds good. All right. Well, we will see you on Wednesday or Saturday, and have a great weekend.
Sounds good. See you.
Welcome back to the Immortal Era, a bleak world 200 years in the future where every human has gained immortality. However, this isn't the immortality of ageless vampires or lost boys. Instead, it's an existence where humans live far beyond what nature ever intended, leading to a society crushed by overpopulation and depleted resources. Countless citizens are now forced to survive underground in the ruins of an abandoned subway system, ruled by ruthless gangs and cannibals. Amidst the chaos, a small group of heroes has risen. Their mission to seek out ancient artifacts that might restore the natural life cycle and bring balance back to the world. But their quest grows more dangerous with every step. Now they're trapped by deadly forces determined to stop them from completing their mission. Can they escape and continue their fight for humanity's future? Join us for the penultimate chapter of the second story arc in Immortal Era 11.